Hey, Flooring Pros. I'm Jerry Levinson, and this is the Flooring Business Podcast, where we talk to expert flooring dealers, suppliers, marketing experts, and software experts, and anyone who I believe is going to help you in your flooring business. Now, my mission is to give you good information that'll help you reach your goals. If you're just starting your business, or you're trying to reach $5 million in sales, or you're getting ready to sell your business, you're going to find useful information that'll help you reach your goals and profit now in the flooring industry. The Flooring Business Podcast is brought to you by Ring Ring Marketing. Go to ringringmarketing.com and request a free analysis of your website, your area, and your scope of work. They'll make recommendations on how to best strategize your marketing efforts so you get the best return on your investment. You'll even get a coach that helps you get better results.
So on this week's podcast, I invited in my daughter-in-law, my assistant, the mother to my grandchildren. The reason I invited her in and I hired her now to help me with Profit Now for Flooring Dealers is because she made such beautiful grandchildren for me. I figured she'd do a good job with this business as well.
That's actually not the real reason why. It's because I'm just awesome, I think.
Well, yeah. I mean, it started with the grandchildren. We got
It started with
Colt's,
the grandchildren.
Colt's 4. Well, Colt's 4, Maddie's 2. I had to see how they would turn out first before hiring you for this part. This is a paid position, and that was just like what do you call that? Benefits. Like I had them come over all the time, so it's.
I remember working with you back when it was still Carpets of Arizona.
That's true.
So I've been working with you since 2018?
Yeah.
Since before Colt. So that was the first time I actually started helping you with all your other stuff, which.
Well, even then we wanted
flashbacks.
to. Yeah, we set up our system so we were like the marketing arm of the company because you and me are creative, and Shane was always very analytical.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
and
it's
he's
still
still that way, right?
Yeah,
So
still
you're
that
still the creative. He's still analytical. He likes to look at the numbers. But what we want to talk about today too is the workshop that we're going to be putting on in Orlando, November 14th and 15th. So you're starting to see some promotion about it. We dropped the price significantly, so it was $950. Now we don't care about making money on this event. We just want to cover some of our costs for the manuals and the books. Speaking of books, I will have the book done. It's the Flooring Business Playbook, and I've got it all written. Now it's going off to the editors, and it's got to be produced, so hopefully within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Which we're going to be giving everybody that comes to the workshop a free copy of. He'll sign it and everything. You'll get a picture, you know.
And this is going to be an intense book too, in that it really walks you through everything you need to know on the business side of the flooring business. So everything from hiring employees, marketing, selling, what kind of model or structure do you want? Like if you're brand new to the flooring industry, do you want to have just a shop at home service, or do you want to have a showroom? And then I get into, what does it take to get to $5 million a year? Do you need multiple showrooms? How much should you be spending on marketing? So just all the nuances, all the questions that you've had about it.
And these are things that we'll be covering at the workshop.
Yeah.
So they'll actually, everybody that comes in, and that's the reason why we put down the price, is because we want as many people there so that you guys can actually get that hands-on training. When you go home, you'll have everything mapped out, ready to implement. So everything that's in your book we'll be doing.
Right.
They'll get that like training in there from your book.
Exactly. And
They'll get everything. Yeah.
typically a master class, and one of the reasons we switched it with master class is we teach you how to do it, and then you go home and kind of put it together and figure it out. Well, this is going to be a workshop, so
It's exciting. I'm excited for it.
yeah, it's going to be fantastic. And Geraldine's going to take a huge part in this too, with the marketing part. But to start off the marketing, we're going to be talking about what you should be budgeting for your marketing, what's your website look like, what should that message be for your marketing. Right now, we've gotten to a point where doing Facebook, I compare it like this. Do you remember nobody had reviews?
Yeah.
and where reviews were like, and we were good at it back then. I mean, we were good at getting reviews, and we beat our competition. Customers came in all the time saying, wow, you got so many good 5-star reviews. And slowly but surely, people started picking up on that, and other flooring dealers now have a lot of reviews.
Yeah.
So,
well, before it was only reviews to restaurants.
right.
And so when we started implementing, I mean, you saw that I think you started talking about, hey, we leave so many reviews at restaurants, we need to be asking people to leave reviews for our business, for trades industry. So I think that's how it all kind of started.
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons I think people should get reviews, or one of the strategies that you can use to get reviews, is to give reviews. Because if you're in the habit of giving other people reviews, it's easy to ask for them for yourself.
Yeah. And we've implemented that back then. Is we ask how the job was, and so that way we don't send them a link if they weren't happy. But we talk to them, and then we ask if we could send them a link to the review if they can go. So we made it very easy for them to be able to leave us a review. We don't tell them, hey, if you go here, we just send them a link via text and email.
Yep.
And so that's how we were really able to get all of those reviews, because we asked them and we told them where they're going to go.
And again, it's gotten to the point, I don't lecture people about, you got to get reviews, you got to get reviews. I've got some strategies on how you can get them without paying for any kind of service. There's no reason to be paying Podium and all these companies. They charge an outrageous amount of money to help generate reviews, and at the end of the day, you still have to ask for them. So no reason for you to do that. But I don't really lecture people that you should get reviews, because everybody's kind of on board with it now. You know, they all understand that. Well, what I was getting to with this long-winded introductory is the Facebook, the social media, the videos. Those are a good strategy, but they're starting to become necessary. It's no longer just a good strategy. It's something that if you're not on social media and you're not producing videos, you're not going to see much growth in your business. So it's become necessary. And so one of the things we thought we would do is Geraldine will be teaching you how to shoot your video, how to clean your lens.
It's a very important first step.
Make Profit Now packages so they can clean their lens. I wonder if you can have them printed. Yeah, and then we can hand that out to people if they clean your lens. So we're gonna show you how to clean your lens, and because she always gets on me, because I'm good at shooting videos, but I'm not good at cleaning my lens.
It's so bad.
So, and then how to edit it using, what do you use, CapCut or?
Yeah, it's super simple. CapCut and Canva are basically my only two apps that I use on my phone. And
then how and where you should post them. And this is something too, it's kind of a revelation I had maybe 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, is that people are posting on their business page and you're not getting seen. It's just, there's no value in posting to your page unless you're going to put money behind it and advertise. But the social media platforms are free. Don't post them to your business page. Post them to your personal profile. And it's a pet peeve of mine to see that people don't have. You go to their personal profile and you can't see what they do for a living.
Yeah, I've been trying that out too, because we do post. I mean, we are super busy. That's when we were able to hire somebody like Dakota helps us with posting our videos and things like that. That will get to that time. But when I first started, when I started educating myself on how to do that, I was posting on our Instagram and our Facebook, and then I was like, people aren't seeing these. And so, but I remember when I was posting, when I was doing my health coaching, I posted 3-4 times a day on my personal Facebook, and I did see a lot of people saw them.
Right.
A lot of people saw them, and people were able to engage with them. And so once you get all of those people just in your Facebook page, you start having your friends commenting on them, the more they'll start seeing that. And that was something that I did learn, is engagement is really important with that, for people to see them. And it's free, like you said.
Yeah.
It's free.
And I always tell you, the best video is always the 14th video. You know, it's always the best video you'll produce. And the reason is the only way to get to 14 videos is you got to do 13 first. And the point is shooting the videos, shoot the damn video, get them on there. What you say, the content you put up there, what's the best producing video? Who the hell knows? I mean, you never know what's going to work and when it's going to work. The message that you use, the most oddball messages that, you know, you were working with a customer that had a cat and the cat got out, or you ran across this problem with the flooring, the subfloor, or they have stairs, or...
Well, we did a whole bunch of like educational videos, and then there was one video with I think it was our Mohawk rep that put the product, the sample, on fire. That one got a lot more engagement than all of our other educational videos. I'm like, what? So you never really know.
Geraldine just produced a video. We had a client that sent it in, a video of their dog walking around a finished flooring. And she says, I got an idea, and she wanted me to do the background. So I said, oh, this is good. This flooring looks really good, you know, as the dog inspecting this floor.
That was fun.
And great video, entertaining. And
took me, what, 5 minutes?
Yeah, didn't take any time at all to produce it.
It took longer because he had to keep redoing it because...
The voiceover?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I deleted it the first time. But yeah, it took 5 minutes to edit that.
So some of the videos that you guys are producing have music in the background, and no talking. There's no value in those videos. I mean, they're not going to produce, they're not going to work, they're not going to get you any results. Even doing a lot of videos like that, they're boring as hell. You know, they don't do anything for you and your brand. You got to be talking in the background. You got to have those captions in the background. So if you want to shoot the videos and then add the voiceover, add the captions later, that's fine. You can do that, and that's what we did with that video. So you need to talk. And this is another thing I was thinking about the other day, and Shane was in the showroom shooting videos, and I was thinking, you know, when you're shooting a video, you got to pretend like you're just on the phone talking to a friend, that you're talking to somebody. Don't make it a solicitation in a commercial, especially not all the time. You know, you want your videos to sound casual and like you're having a conversation.
I think that's one thing that a lot of people sometimes struggle, especially when you start doing the videos. I remember this when I was doing it, is I wanted it to sound professional. I wanted it to sound businessy. But then as I started going, and it started becoming a lot more natural and talking to my audience, because it was like I talk to you guys all the time.
Right.
And so I think the more you do it, that's when it's going to start coming in, and it's going to be more, I mean, because when you first do it, you're scared, and most people are scared to put themselves on videos. And so you want it, you're very critical of yourself. So it takes a lot of practice to start doing it until you're more comfortable and stuff. I mean, I haven't been on video for a long time. It was my first time putting a makeup on, guys. So it's just getting used to that, and at some point, it'll just be more natural like that.
Yeah. So, and Geraldine's going to be at the the workshop in Orlando. So she will. We've already shipped her. She's got like 3 suitcases full of makeup. We pre-shipped them to the hotel, so they'll be there for her when she's ready. So she will have makeup.
So I'm gonna get my own suite.
Just for her makeup. She's got a separate room for her makeup.
I don't put that much makeup on.
She doesn't do that. Giving her a hard time. She's not that tall, so
I don't need that much product.
Yeah, right. So
I get the tester size. You know, yeah, the ladies will understand.
You know, one of the topics that I've been really wanting to approach a lot more lately is sales training, and that people falsely talk about needing sales training. I need to train my salespeople. I need to, you know, that's probably the number one request we get. And we're doing the 90K in 90-day challenge. And a lot of people will look at that as an opportunity to train their salespeople. And what we're really doing is creating simple systems to sell.
I think it's also finding the right culture. Like if you don't have a culture or like an idea of what your culture should be, then it's difficult to be able to train everyone.
That requires leadership. It was an interesting chapter, and it was the last chapter I wrote in the book. Actually, the last chapter was the how to scale to 5 million, but which was a bonus chapter. But the last chapter in the main book was leadership, and how do you become a good leader? How do you build that culture? So we'll be talking about that at the workshop, and we have the systems and the way to do that. And the main way to become a good leader, it starts with having a weekly meeting.
Yeah.
You know, so whatever it is you're telling your salespeople, whatever it is you're telling your employees, you have to tell them over and over and over again. And this is one of the hardest things for people to realize when you own a business and you give instructions to employees like how to answer the phone. Well, I told them how to do that and they're doing it wrong. Well, you told them once. You know, maybe you put it in an employee manual. I know employee manual is about the most worthless document you have, especially in a small business, because nobody looks at that employee manual. It doesn't serve any purpose. The culture is being built by those weekly meetings and you repeating what you want, you showing the expectations, you giving the score, and we're going to show you how to keep score in your business.
And then it has that agreement at the end of the meeting is you and everybody else has that agreement. You set up an agreement. Hey, we're gonna do this week, and so the following week you can. That's when you can have that accountability. So you guys, we agreed on this. Where are we at this week with that? So yeah.
One of the things I do with all my clients is we recreate their whole pricing system to make it easy. So when you go into a home, you'll be able to bam, you can give out a price. And that's probably the most dramatic change that people make to their flooring business is the ability to give a price quickly. So we can do that over the phone. If somebody's calling in, we can do that on our website. We can do that when we go out to the house. The quicker you give a price, you give that information, the more likely you are to get that job. So we'll show you how to do that. But we get the most pushback from employees because you're changing something. So they get used to something that may be very complicated. Boy, they don't like change at all. So, you know, and when you're a leader, it's you got to go over and over and over again how we got to do this, even though what you're doing is 10 times easier than what you did in the past. I've got a client now we're working with that he's having great success, but he's got a couple older people working for him. And he's like, you know, everybody's pissed off at me right now because I just raised our prices. And he just priced everything.
Which is so crazy to me because they're making more money.
Oh, yeah, they do. Well, they have a belief that they won't be able to sell. But he tells me, he says, everybody's pissed at me. And he says, oh, and they hate you. So, they hate me. They don't like the videos. And they don't like the system, the process, just because, again, they've been doing it for years.
Is that a trend? They either love you or they either hate you?
Probably. Well, and it's very common with older people that have been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
I've realized the approach that you have to use most often is telling them that I'm not here to train and help you. Let me help the other people. And when you do that, they say, oh, no, I want to learn too.
Yeah.
You know, they always want to learn when you kind of dismiss them.
Yeah.
But if you say, I want to show you a better way, then they're defensive about it. So that's an important thing in leadership is knowing how to communicate to people because you can't communicate the same way to everyone.
Yeah. How do you know who to hire? I think that's something that you're going to go over with as well, right?
Yeah, we have a whole hiring system. We created a 2-week a hiring and 2-week sales training system that you can train anybody to sell carpet and luxury vinyl and laminate in 2 weeks. That they'll be able to do in-home sales without any experience or any knowledge in the industry. So, and again, it starts with making the pricing easy.
Yeah, I mean, we did that with one of our designers, Kelly. She's a designer, but she's never done measurements the way we did, and with that process we were able to get her going. And
the experience was funny because at first she was gun shy about the price, and then she was like if it was under 15,000, it wasn't worth your time.
No,
remember?
yeah.
So,
Yeah, every time it's like, it's only $7,000. I was like,
yeah.
it was like, so it has to be like over 10 for it to be like, it was a great measure. So there's a standard that she set up for herself once she learned everything, that's really cool to see. Because I think our standard was like 6. So like, if we get over 6, we're good. Now it's like over 12, whatever.
We were just talking to a client yesterday on one of the coaching calls, and we were going over this with their new hire. And she's been training her for a few weeks now, and the girl hasn't gone out and done any appointments on her own. So I've created a system so they can go out and practice. And that's what they need. They need to go out by themselves. They can't be shadowed. And even he said that, you know what, that's a great idea. I'll go with her. And I said, don't do that. She needs to go by herself. She needs to fail. But let's let her struggle and fail with pretend clients. You know, let's give her some real world experience, but on some practice clients, not our real customers. So when the real customers are ready to buy, that we can send her out. She knows what she needs to know.
Like with her friends and family, hey, let me go measure this out and stuff.
Yeah. And we've done this with a Facebook post. Strategy works great. And not only that, you get some real customers out of it.
Yeah.
And customers that say, oh yeah, I'll let you come out and practice. I'm actually in the market for this.
Yeah.
So created a great strategy. It works fantastic at not only training people, but getting more business in. So, but yeah, really understanding, remember working with Michael, one of our guys, shudders. So he was one of our salespeople. He was one of our top salespeople, and he was sales manager at the time too. And this was an interesting lesson and something interesting we learned. He was the right guy in the wrong seat. He didn't have the skills for leadership. He was a good salesperson. That's it. He was not a manager. He wasn't management material. So, and I've talked to him. I've lectured him, but I remember when you and he were having a conversation, he was really frustrated with you. You were frustrated with him. And I said, Michael, you got to realize when you're communicating, if somebody doesn't understand what you're saying, you have to, it's on you. You're the leader. It's on you to explain it different. And I've really noticed that when it comes to teaching people how to measure for carpet. There's so many different ways you can learn how to do it. And you know, one of the things I tried doing is I put out a roll of carpet out in the warehouse. So you can see that it's 12 feet wide. So you can understand if I need 14 feet of carpet, you can visualize it a little bit better.
Yeah. You know, I don't remember how to measure.
Oh,
Did you know that? No, but I can get people.
Well, you guys are using Measure Square right now, right?
Right, but when I'm on the phone and somebody calls in, I can get as an appointment, and 8 out of 10 times the designer brings the right product. You remember that post the other day about bringing samples to their home and not knowing? But I just thought of that right now is I knew how to measure, but because I haven't been in the field for a long time, I don't really know how to do that. But when somebody comes in or somebody calls, I know exactly where to point them because of the qualifying questions that you taught us.
Yeah.
And so, what do you call it? So whenever I take on that message, I'll send out a designer. They'll bring in the samples, and most of the time I get it right because of the qualifying questions.
Right.
So like you said, when you're training and you're hiring someone, they don't necessarily have to have flooring knowledge to be able to hire them and make them a good salesperson. Yeah,
the most important thing is knowing how to answer questions correctly and with confidence. And that's even the question that you don't know the answer to. You know, you guys are going to laugh at this, and maybe you'll dismiss me altogether when I tell you this, but I don't know the difference between WPC and SPC, and I don't care. I've never cared.
That's not a question we've been asked.
It has been explained to me 50 times, and I don't care because I don't find it relevant at all. Yeah. I'm carrying good quality products that I know are going to hold up. They got a lifetime guarantee on the product or 15-year guarantee, which is the same thing to me, but and we know we can stand behind it. I don't need an education of the science of the material and how it was made. I need to know how it holds up and what's the warranty on it. what's it like for my installers to use it. So I need to know the companies, are they reliable? Are they going to stand behind the product as well? There's things that you need to know, but it doesn't, the materials and the science about why carpet is stain resistant. Who cares?
Yeah, I was asking one of our reps, like, what's the difference between luxury vinyl and laminate? And they were telling me all of the scientific words. Well, laminate has this and this and this, and luxury vinyl this. And so I was like, so if I was a customer, it's basically laminate has better wear product on top of it than scratch resistant than the luxury vinyl. That's how I understand it. And so that's how it needs to be explained. You don't need to say this has all of these. I don't even remember because
that's one of the questions I always ask. It's like, let's look at two products and what's the difference for the customer. You remember we sold Revwood, Pergo Extreme, and Carndine Corlock. All three products are manufactured differently. All of them have different prices. We sold all three products for the same price, and we had a presentation called the Ultimate Installation Process. So we gave one price and the experience to get it all done, including baseboards, moving furniture, moving appliances. Everything was all like $12.97 a square foot.
Yeah.
So, and you could choose between any of these three products. So the reality is the customer's experience on all three of these products is exactly the same, even though they're all made differently from different manufacturers, and they all have a different cost, and even the installation process is a little bit different. But the only thing that matters is the customer's experience on that floor going to be different. So you could say that with carpet, like a thicker carpet will be better than a thinner carpet or something, so, but that's something visible that we can see, and we can show them the comparison. But so training the salespeople, making it easy, and then when they don't know the answer, how to answer properly, saying something like, well, that's an interesting question. I don't know. Let me get back to you on that.
Yeah.
But keep going on with your sales presentation or your interview of that client, finding out what they need. When I got asked, and it happened a couple of times where I got asked the difference between WPC and SBC, and my answer was always this: I don't know. I just own the place. You'd have to ask one of the salespeople for that. And at the end of the day, nobody really cared.
I don't remember that many, like, it's very, very rare. It happens on occasions that somebody asks you, like, is it, for example, with carpet, is it like chemical free or something like that, right? And I've been asked that maybe a handful of times. I wouldn't even say it to where you have to change up your whole process because of this one question. You figure that out afterwards, really. It's not.
I remember they asked. I used to love listening to my salespeople talk to our clients, and one time a lady said something about it was the twist rate of carpet, and the salesperson said, that doesn't matter, and that was the wrong answer for that client. So knowing how to answer right, well, that's interesting. I've never heard that before. Let me figure it out for you, and then go on with your appointment. You don't have to figure out right away. And if you can't capture that client and keep it, you may never have to figure it out. It may not really be important. There was one time I could hear a girl we all know and love. She was one of our best salespeople. We couldn't figure out why, because when she would talk to a customer, it sounded like we didn't know what the hell we were doing. And her closing rate was the highest by far. You know what I'm talking about, Cheryl. And she's on with a customer, and she's saying, well, our prices are higher because, we have the overhead and we have the shop. And she's given this explanation. And to me, it's like, and the answer to that question wasn't obvious, but it's like, okay, here's the problem. We have our weekly meeting. Let's write this question on the whiteboard, and let's discuss. When we get this kind of challenge or that we have to overcome, objection, what's a better way that we can answer that? So talking about how we can answer it, I don't even remember what we came up with for that. One of the biggest ones is, hey, are your installers subcontractors or in-house? we get that all the time, and we fumble through the answer.
Yeah, I was like, well, they do work only for us, but sometimes they work for other people, and there's so they're subcontractor, and it's like we can't say that because it makes them think of Home Depot.
It's horrible. Yeah, it was a sloppy answer, and we weren't prepared.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a pet peeve of mine. Is like, why, if you're getting the same question over and over and over again, why not be prepared to answer it properly?
Having those rebuttals.
So, are you guys still using the installation incentive program?
I believe so.
For that.
That's all Shane's.
And that was the way that I teach my clients to answer is use the installation incentive program. What we do is ask you how the install went, and we rate the installer from 1 to 5. Mm-hmm. So the installers that get a 5 rating, we give them a little bit of a bonus. Mm-hmm. And then we show the reviews with them, and that's really helped them to become a lot more professional and really good installers. So we only use great installers. So they are subcontractors, but they're fantastic, and they work great for us.
We always tell clients when it's really important for them to know that the installers are good, because they've had experiences with Home Depot and other trades or other businesses. And so one thing that we've been really good at doing is asking the client, how did the installers do? If they love them, which most of the time they do, we ask them to put their name on the review, to highlight how did it go, and use their name. And so when we get clients that really is scared to use us because we have subcontractors, which I think everybody in Arizona does, they can go in our reviews and see all of the installers' names, all the designers' names. We don't ask them to say, can you review Vision Flooring? We ask them, can you review and include the installer and their the designer on your reviews?
Well,
so
that
really
does a few
helped
things.
us.
One, and that's a strategy I teach people too, is to say, when you're trying to get reviews, ask them to rate the installer first, just for your own records, and then say, hey, would you do me a favor? Would you mention his name? If I send you a link, will you do a review and mention his name? Mm-hmm. And then we'll give him a little bonus. And then rather than asking the installer and say, hey, I'll give you a bonus if you get a review, don't do that, because then it's self-serving. But you asking the customer to help out, and this installer just worked their ass off in their home. Mm-hmm. So they're happy to give them a review.
Yeah.
For them to do that and then mention the installer's name, it makes the review longer too, which Google likes that.
Yeah.
So, and then you share that review with the installer, and they do take a lot more pride when they see those reviews. They do realize that my job is more than just installing the flooring. It's to create that 5-star experience.
Yeah, our install, we just talked about this yesterday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So Monday, we just talked about, Yeah. I can't remember what day.
I don't know. Today's Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday. We just talked about that in our Monday morning meeting on Monday, about how important our installers are to our designers, because we can promise the client that they'll have the 5-star experience, but we're also humans, and when something happens with our clients, we want to make sure we take care of them. And that's where the installer and the relationship with the installer comes in, is they really do take care of our clients, and they make sure that, and it's simple. I would send a text, hey, here's a picture, this client needs this, I guess we forgot like a closet strip on the job, and the client was like saying, hey, I have this strip. I texted our installer, and he was like, okay, let me call the client. And it's set, because we have such a good relationship with our installers, and they take care of our clients so much. And our designer sees that, because they also call their clients and ask how everything went. So making sure installers are taken care of, making sure they're being heard is really important.
It's fascinating too that the discussions that we'll have about installers, and people will say, you got to pay them more, you got to pay them more, and that's not how you attract good installers. It seems like it would be, and installers get pissed when I talk about this, but the 2 things installers want more than anything, I'll even say 3 things. One is they want to be kept busy. So we've had a hard time pulling busy installers away who are getting paid half of what we offer. So we realized they need to be kept busy. Two, they want to have all the instructions right for the job. So that's something that we weren't always the best at, but something that we've had to work on over the years. But being good at giving them good instructions on the job site and making sure they have all the materials they need for that job too. Because that pisses them off when they have to go out there and they may have to go back out to finish something because we didn't have all the materials necessary.
Or something really simple is what rooms, right?
Yeah.
When an installer goes in, because we pride ourselves about communication, but then an installer goes to the house because it doesn't say which rooms. It says room 1, 2, and 3, but we have no idea what that is. An installer goes into a house and they ask, so which rooms am I doing? Simply saying all carpeted areas or bedroom 1, 2, and 3, would be such a better experience for the installers and the clients altogether. So that's one really simple one that I feel like a lot of people forget to put is
and
which rooms.
I would say the number 3 thing is recognition. They want to know that they're doing a good job. They want to see those reviews. One of the most impactful things we did, and it's hard to keep up with, you guys aren't doing it right now, but we put a scoreboard in the back to show, who's got 5-star reviews, who's getting number 5s on their recommendations. And when people see that scoreboard, they want to be on the top. They want to do better. If they see their score is not that good, they want to know how they can improve. And maybe they say, "Oh, screw this! I don't give a shit," and they leave, which is fine, because if they don't have that attitude, then we don't want to.
They don't fit into the culture of how taking care of the client.
It was funny. Some installers found that kind of insulting. It's like, what's insulting about that?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't understand what's insulting in managing installers. It's the same as managing, even though they're subcontractors. And again, a false argument is you can't, since they're not employees, you can't tell them what to do. Baloney. Of course they're not employees, but they're subcontractors are working for you. Just like customers can tell us what to do.
Yeah.
We're the customers, so we can tell them what we have to do, and if they don't want to do it, they can choose not to.
Yeah. That title subcontractor in-house is that's just it. It's a title.
Yeah, I don't know the difference.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you're still paying them to do a service.
Right.
So that still means they're working for you. I mean,
so you can manage them well, and by managing well, it's the same thing as your salespeople, is setting up expectations, measuring their work, and again, just asking customers to review them, making sure they're doing a good job.
And
I've said this about marketing companies, the same thing with installers, and the same thing with any employees. And maybe I'm saying it the wrong way, and people, again, they get offended by this, but don't trust them. And it's not saying don't trust them as if they're not trustworthy, but one thing installers need, and all of us need, is attention. Saying, this guy is so good, I don't need to do anything, I send him on his way. If you do that, and you don't inspect his work ever, you're going to see it go downhill. And they're human. They want a pat on the back. The worst thing you can do is not give them any attention at all.
Yeah.
Whether it's through anger, or you're mad at them, or you're happy with them. You've got to let them know where you stand and show them that they're there and you appreciate them in some form, because
I think having that weekly meeting with them the same way as having, because I mean Shane does this really well, is he's told you he's had a few different website companies that he's hired, and they just weren't delivering, even though he was asking the right questions and keeping up with them. He's gained so much knowledge, and he's able to really make sure, and he's so hands-on when it comes to the marketing on Google that it's made a huge difference. And he's learned a lot too. So the same way as having your weekly meetings with your designers, and if you don't have the time to do a weekly meeting, at least do an every other weekly meeting with your marketing team as well, because if you're not taking care of that, you're not going to get into, you're not going to know all the numbers that you're supposed to be getting, and that's something that Shane does in the company on both sides. he does the weekly meeting with them
So
too.
the company that sponsors this is Ring Ring Marketing, and they also are sponsoring our workshop. They sponsored the road trip we just had, and they've been fabulous to work with, and I've recommended them to all our clients. But what they do is they assign you a coach. It's not even a manager to manage the business. They assign you a coach that helps you with the marketing and the marketing strategies. They tell you how much you should budget. They, and they're not just trying to spend your money, because if you spend more money, they don't make more money. They, like a lot of companies charge a percentage of what you spend.
Do you feel like even though they have the person that owns the business or the one that's in charge of marketing and the business should still know what they want to target?
It's better with the coach now,
Right.
and this is the problem with a lot of the marketing companies, including Ring Ring, which they are even working with me on this side. Is you got a guy that sells carpet, luxury vinyl, tile, hardwood, and then maybe they do kitchen cabinets and countertops. I just talked to somebody the other day. They're doing about $500,000 a year, and they sell all these product categories. I'm like, well, what if you sold carpet and luxury vinyl and we did $3 million a year? Would you rather do $3 million in carpet and luxury vinyl, or would you rather sell all these products?
It's a lot of stuff.
So, and they get married to their products, and they feel like, I've said this a lot, is that you treat your products like your children, and they all require an equal amount of attention. Well, I didn't get many sales here, so I want to up my spend here. So I spend a little bit of money on everything, and I try to market all these products to all the customers in the area, rather than just killing it with one or two products. And that's what I encourage our people to do. If you're doing under $5 million a year, you just need to crush it with one or two products.
Yeah.
I've got one client's luxury vinyl. That's all he sells, and he doesn't even have that many SKUs, like 20 SKUs. They do $6-7 million a year.
Yeah.
So you can kill it with one product much easier than you can having the opportunity to sell all these things.
Well, I remember when we were killing it in carpet, a lot of our designers really focused on carpet because that was what we were really doing. Once we started really doing good with carpet and just killing it in carpet, then we transitioned to start doing hard surface. And now we're at a point where we're doing both and killing it in both because we've got the training. They know the knowledge on how to do both of them. Sometimes you get somebody that just is really good with hard surface. You just throw all the leads as hard surface to them and then carpet to the other person. But then, you play around with that. But
well, that's an interesting topic too. It's when it comes to sales training and things like that, if you have experts at tile, maybe you got somebody that's really good at doing showers, and somebody really knowledgeable about maybe a bath remodel, and a lead comes in and it's somebody else's turn. Man, if they're not good at that, give it to the expert.
That's and knowing your designers, like for example, Angelo, he's our tile guy. Yeah. He's our tile and commercial guy. Now, does that mean that I'm going to wait a long time until he's available? Probably not. I'm going to make sure that client is taken care of and we book them. But most of the time, if I get a commercial job that they want to send us their blueprint of their building that they're doing and all, I know I have a guy specifically for that. If I have somebody that comes in and they want to do interior decorating in their house, I have a designer for it. So it's not so much whose turn is it to get the lead or the sale, it's who will work the best with this client.
Who's up? And some people will have a system like an up system. If you got 4 or 5 salespeople and you have this up system, you still have to manage that in a way that, the lead goes to the right person and make sure, again, that's building your culture enough so they have the maturity to say, hey, I'm not a hardwood expert, but Gary knows his stuff. Yeah. So like let's Seattle, give that to him.
Right? Is it Seattle for Cheryl? We knew somebody's from Seattle. We give it to Cheryl.
Yeah. Well, I do that with Elizabeth. Single mom. I would give her the lead when I thought they could make a personal connection. So that wasn't even based on the product, but I thought this salesperson will do a better job selling to this particular client.
Yeah.
So learning that kind of thing, those dynamics about your salespeople and operating your business a way for it to be successful, not fair. Because fair doesn't pay the bills.
Well, I feel
let's get the sale, and then we could support everybody better with more sales than if we're trying to distribute things evenly.
Yeah. I feel like the designer has a more fun experience working though, because if you're giving them leads that they're an expert on, there's more of a probability that they're going to put all of their effort, and not forgetting all their other clients, but they'll actually be connected to that client. They're going to have more fun. They're going to make the money, and you know that they're going to make the sale over somebody that's up next.
Yeah.
So,
and that leads to another topic. What about the commission-only pay that we set up? You still operating under that system where it's a guaranteed minimum, or do you know?
Right. I have my role. Shane has his role.
That's perfect. So what we did is set up a guaranteed minimum. So they would make at least $15 an hour, because you can't have somebody work for free, but we measure it 1 month at a time.
Yeah.
And what's really helped is measuring 1 month, because if somebody's out for 2 weeks, they still have enough time to sell $26,000 and cover their guaranteed minimum. But people are making good money doing it that way, because they're able to make, if they're selling 50, 60, 70, 100,000.
Yeah, our goal.
We've had some people that made, $10,000, $15,000
I mean,
checks.
every time we talk about everybody's goal, it's over 100.
Yeah.
Like everybody's goal is always over 100 with the designers, which is amazing. I mean, they make it. I mean, I remember with Monica, we were talking, and she asked us, like, I think my goal this month is going to be, I think it was like, we knew it was going to be one of those slow months. And she was like, I think my goal this month is going to be 115. And I was like, how about your top goal? Let's make it out like 150. She did 130, 135 that month. And it's like, having that expectation and making them shoot for that higher target, it's just so fun seeing them do that. But yeah, we do that. That I know.
And do they compete?
Oh yeah, all the time. It's so funny because they all see in our CRM, they all see where they're at percentage-wise and things. And I remember like last month, Kelly was like, I'm always this close. And then they're always, but it's all fun. It's all fun. Games, but they're always going up and down, and it's fun to see, and they have fun doing that.
I've made the point many times that the best way to get improvement in your business, keep score of the game. If you don't keep score, and a lot of people don't, like, what are you doing month to month? What did you do last year, this month? What did you do last month? So you're always trying to better your best. That's what our workshop's about, better your best. So, but the only way to do that is by keeping score. If you don't know what the score of the game is, then how are you going to improve?
Yeah, and it happens organically. Because we talk about everybody's numbers. We don't say, okay, are you going to beat them? We don't do that. It happens organically. They organically do it to each other, because we talk about everybody's numbers. And it's fun in the office
when you hear, I got you beat by so much.
I was like, I got you beat for $50.
Yeah, and then somebody tops them, and that's it. When they're competing against each other, so they're trying to close deals to beat each other, and then they come back and they say, I got you. The other thing this does is it gives you the ability to hire more salespeople for free. Because let's say the commission is 10%. 10% of 500,000 in sales is 50,000. It's that split between 3 people, 4 people. And the more salespeople that you can hire, the more showroom coverage you have, the more time they can spend. Because one of the challenges that you had was you had a great salesperson who had way too many leads. So her closing rate was terrible.
She wasn't doing the follow-up, or not because she didn't want to.
No,
she didn't have
but
the time.
She didn't have time.
She didn't have time to do the follow-up. She didn't have time to make sure she read all of her notes. It's like, it's too much. Especially if you're just
giving her much fewer leads, increased her closing rate, increased her income, increased her sales. But and at first those salespeople will fight you on it. Like, no, I don't want to divvy up. I don't want to lose my leads. Because they equate that with income, which makes sense. But the reality
Well-
is if you can increase your closing rate,
It's kind of like if you tell your child it's time for bed, they don't want to do it. Well, you know it's the best for them. Go to bed.
Right.
It's the same thing.
and that's being a leader. You making those decisions, even though they're not going to
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah. And now.
And then they come back months later and go, "You're right."
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad
Yeah.
you made that change.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got floor zap.
That's how I
I
think-
hated it at first, but I'm glad you got floor zap. You
Well-
were right.
Well, the more salespeople you have going out taking care of the leads, the more you're able to work in your business instead of on your business. Like Shane and I have gotten to the point where he's focusing on getting the leads in. He's not measuring, he's not going out to these and getting sometimes once in a while if he has a really good friend he wants to take care of them. But in the same way with me, I can focus on helping out with social media events. That's my strength.
Right.
And so like our dynamic has been, we've been able to really have a good working partnership because we have all those salespeople to be able to go and do those.
What do you say to the people that say, "I think my salespeople should get their own leads," or?
I mean, I don't think that we should make it difficult. Then what are you doing? Are you getting, like, what are you doing to, if they're making their own, they're trying to go out there and get their own leads. I think that should be with the business networking development. Like that's why we have them go to BNI, is so that they can develop those businesses and get their own leads.
Right.
But I think it's easier for them to go out there. If you take out that responsibility of them having to look for their own leads, then they'll be able to spread out and make more money for your.
Yeah, I mean, if they're
It's
going to
not-
have to go hunt their own leads,
Yeah.
they're not going to have much success.
It's hard. I mean,
it
like,
is not easy.
no.
But I always said I want all of the salespeople to be a part of a networking group.
Yeah.
Just because I think it's a good, healthy experience
Mm-hmm.
and exercise once a week. Going to a networking group, giving yourself a commercial, and representing the business.
Yeah.
Talking about the business
Yeah.
that you're in. And I also think it's a good thing for them to post about stuff on again on social media.
We're not having them. I mean, I'd love them to do that
Yeah.
right now. For example, Angelo, he's like Tuesday is his networking day, then Kelly's Wednesday, then Monica's Thursday. Those specific days that they're going out to their BNI meeting, those are the days that they're not. We're trying to not give them any leads or measures that day unless they set it up themselves. But on my end, I don't put any measures for that day, so that one day that they can do their networking, follow up with realtors or contractors that they want to develop a relationship with, and really foster that relationship. Because if we don't give them that time, then they'll never be able to create their own leads through those relationships. So, and it's worked really well for them. I think Angelos made really great connections with his networking team because we've given them that one day out of the week to really concentrate on that.
I want to make this point about the 90-day, 90K program that in all the consulting and work
It's
that
a
I
challenge.
do. 90-day, 90K challenge. It's not a challenge. We'll get you there. I mean, I'm going to do a case study on another company too that basically they've done 180K in 180 days, 6 months in, and these people had a baby. They one of their employees was
Identical
off
twin
every
now?
other. No, not yet.
Oh.
She's pregnant with identical twins.
Oh.
One of their salespeople, their main salesperson, was off every other week for the summer to watch her kid. They took off a month during the 6-month time. So they took off a month after their baby was born, their first baby, and she's pregnant now again with twins. So glory hallelujah, they'll have 3 kids under the age of 1. So they have they've had some challenges, and the economy has slowed down. They are up over 90K in 90 days and 180K in 180 days. So, and things are just taking off like crazy. So they're going to do way better.
Yeah.
They'll be up
That's
500,000 this year.
Yeah.
The way they're going. The things that I teach our clients are the things that we did at Carpets of Arizona. So it's not an opinion or theory or just coaching. It's not something to make you feel good and to inspire you. I'm not trying to do all that. I'm showing you the system that we
Step by
use,
step.
and we're creating for you. We're creating the sales presentation. We're creating the pricing, exactly what to do. Not giving you advice on what to do, but showing you this is what you should be charging.
Well, also, I think there has to be a specific dynamic if there's partnerships. I remember whenever you were still there and you were the one who ultimately made the decision of what happens. Shane was doing all the other stuff, the things that really didn't affect the company in a huge dramatic way, if that makes sense. And then when you started going and you started seeing Shane wants to take over, you started giving him the authority to be able to make those decisions. He was ultimately the decision maker. So and then now, because I've seen this, is that there's that partnership and one wants to do this, the other one wants to do this, and then they can't move forward with their company.
Right. This is a whole nother show that we have to do. So we have to do a show on working with your spouse, and then another show, well, not another show, but maybe within the same show, but because this is a topic I've talked about and it's happening a lot. There's that son, it's mostly the son, there are some daughters, but that son's working with dad, and the son wants to do certain things, but dad's old school doesn't want to do it that way. Shane and I didn't have that problem.
You kind of just transitioned away.
Well, no, we never had that problem because, again, Shane was analytical,
Yeah.
and Shane had excellent leadership skills, and he found places to apply those leadership skills that I wasn't interested in, such as the operations.
Oh, yeah.
And then he'd look at numbers, but he stayed out of the marketing, and that was my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And then the sales training, that too
was
was my wheelhouse.
And that's the thing. I think you can't have two alphas running the show. You just can't. It's hard, whether it's a husband and wife, whatever.
But in 6 years, we argued twice.
Yeah.
I know one was about
Well,
money,
Michael.
and no, we never argued about Michael. We talked about Michael, but we never argued about it.
Oh, okay.
One was he had Miranda do create the process for hiring somebody, and I'm like, I've already created it. Why are you doing this over again and doing it from somebody that has no idea what she's doing in that arena? That was kind of the catalyst that started us down that road of, I asked him, I said, do you want to buy me out? And he said, yeah, because he wanted to own the business.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, for him and I when I started working, my position was different from when I was there before we had Colt. And so I didn't know what decisions I can make, where I would be. And so we had to sit down. We defined our roles. Ultimately, I understand Shane's the one that's going to make
This is
the
a
final
commercial
decision.
for our next podcast.
Oh, sorry.
Our
Yeah.
next couple of podcasts. We're just whetting their appetite. Because,
It is.
again, those two subjects are fascinating, because I've talked to a lot of sons, too, who have called me up, and they want to do more, they want to take over, they want to own the business, and yet dad's not paying them enough, or dad's this or that, and dad won't let him make the changes that he wants to make. He wants to spend more money on marketing, or he wants to raise the prices. And so there's a lot of young people out there who are doing things in a different way than dad did.
Well, they have to, though.
So,
Right?
everything's changed.
It's the horse and buggy thing.
Right.
Everything there was done differently.
And
than
there's
now.
people that want to sell their business that don't have a website.
Yeah.
And I do evaluations and help people sell their business too. But and talk about strategies on how to sell your business. But
I mean,
you don't even have a website.
Yeah. Well, all the things that we talked about and that you discussed today is everything that we're going to be really focusing on in the
That workshop's going to be fantastic. It'll be
It's gonna be
intimate.
so
Well, I mean,
fun.
our goal is to get 50 people there, but even with
Yeah.
50 people there, we'll have enough time that we'll have discussions back and forth. You'll be able to get your specific questions answered, and we'll have enough time to work
Yeah.
with you one-on-one to give you a better understanding. Look at your website.
Well, you want them to come with what are the things that you want?
Yeah, I
them
want you to
know?
come. So when you sign up, we're going to give you a list of things, but I want you to give us your numbers. What was your month-to-month sales in 2023 and 2024? Where are you at now? And then we want to know what's your closing rate, what's your average ticket, and what's your profit margin. And we're going to talk about how you got to that profit margin. I want to know what your sales process is. I want to have a good understanding of what that is. And then we want to know your marketing. We want to see your website. We want to see what's your marketing budget. What do you spend on marketing? And what are some of the other things that you're doing, not just the website, so we can help guide you with that. And then what else? Anything that with your employees, how are you paying them? What are you paying?
Yeah.
And then you all get a copy of the book that's the Flooring Business Playbook. So I'm excited to get that thing printed and start giving it out to
nice.
people that.
Yeah. If we still have to do your photo shoot.
Yeah.
So you can get new pictures.
No,
But no, it's exciting. I think it's gonna be just fun seeing. I mean, like, you're actually gonna do the work there. When you get back home, you're gonna know where to start. You're gonna know all the things that he's already implemented with Vision Flooring that used to be Carpets of Arizona. It's these questions that I see. How do you close in the home? How do you not close in a home?
Right.
How do you not do it? Like, you
Right.
want to do it as many times as you want. We actually have, that's one of our things that we track, is how many days that is it from estimate to sales close. And most of the time it's 0 days.
Well, and even understand this. So, and it's not closing in the home. It's giving your customer an opportunity to buy now. There is nothing I've ever taught anybody that's high pressure, because I don't like that shit. I don't like let's break down the numbers to the ridiculous. It's only this much per day, or doing anything that you're uncomfortable doing. I won't do that. I don't like doing that.
Or telling them,
So
hey, why don't you come into the showroom? Remember you told us for the time they go from their house to the showroom, how many other stores
Yeah.
will they have?
Well, they may never
They
make
might
it.
drive through. So we always say, let's set up an appointment. I'll bring it to you.
Yeah.
It's better lighting in your home
That's first thing.
anyways.
That's where the flooring's going.
Yeah, that's where the
So it only makes sense for them to buy the product where it's going to be installed. But give her an opportunity to buy now. And I was just talking to one of our favorite clients this morning, and he was even talking about one of the biggest changes he made, because his closing rate was like 30% and it's now 70%. But the biggest difference is, talking to the customer, slowing down on the appointment, having more confidence. But it's exciting when you're talking about all this stuff and then you walk away without giving a price.
Yeah.
That you are killing the most exciting, can you imagine being with your significant other and you're having a wonderful romantic evening, and then, boy, this was great, and you're just all romantic and sensual, and then this is wonderful, let's make love tomorrow. Isn't that a good analogy? It's like you get them all excited, and boy, this was great. Let's do this tomorrow.
That's funny.
So have sex today, not tomorrow. That's our message for you. All right, guys, sign up. We're going to leave links for you, and we'll let you sign up for that class, the workshop. And
It's gonna be fun.
it's going to be so much fun. You're going to love it. So
This is one that you don't want to miss.
Absolutely.
It's just covering the stuff that we need to get this together. But if you want to make so much more money next year and get process set up, why would you want to miss this event? Just
minimum $10K a month extra just by attending the workshop.
Yeah.
Now hiring us that's
That's a whole
90K in
different thing.
90 days. That's 30K a month extra. And we've
Yeah.
proven that time and time again.
Yeah.
We've got tons of testimonials and things like that that can show you that
Mm-hmm.
that people are getting those kind of results. So
Yeah.
higher profit margins, higher closing rates.
I can tell you guys the processes that we've implemented, it works. We do it. So I just don't see how you could say no to this.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's fun to work with you guys. All right, sounds good. Well, thanks for coming on the show and helping me out. Oh, also working with Geraldine on shooting videos. That's going to be fun. That's another thing we're going to start offering. She's going to be doing this for some of our clients, $750 a month, and producing 2 videos a week for you. So edited, produced, you could put it on there. And again, not produced professionally as much as entertaining wise.
Yeah.
So doing like that dog video we did, doing something that's fun, that's interesting, that's entertaining, that'll get you business. So that's 2 videos a week, 8 a month. You just post those on your channels, and man, that's doesn't cost you anything more to post them. You don't have to pay social media ads. If you get a real good one, you might do paid social media.
Yeah.
So we'll show you how to do that as well. All right, guys, sounds good. Well, we'll see you next time.
Have a good one.
Thanks for joining the Flooring Business Podcast. Now, if you'd like to have a one-on-one discovery call and learn how you can increase your profit and sales by over 30%, go to jerrylevinson.com and let's discuss where you're at and where you want to go. Don't forget to tune in next week where we have another great podcast with another flooring pro.